Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Boss Hour live from beautiful Lake Effect Radio at Lakeland Community College in fantastic Kirtland, Ohio. Everybody, what's going on today? We got a lot to talk about in the world of sports. This is the Boss Hour. We're going to talk about it right after these messages.
Now, more than ever, a college education is a necessity. If you want to get ahead, then Lakeland Community College is here to help. Lakeland's tuition is low, and classes are offered day, night, weekends, or online. You can get a college education conveniently and affordably. Earn a degree, start a bachelor's, or upgrade job skills. Lakeland has the education you need for today and tomorrow. Lakeland Community College. Opportunity starts here. Visit lakelandcc.edu. lakelandcc.edu.
I'm good to go.
At the Holden University Center of Lakeland Community College, you can earn a bachelor's or graduate degree from our university partners right here in Lake County. Lakeland's Holden University Center. Stay here, go far. Visit lakelandcc.edu/UC.
Be involved. Transplant hope. Join the Be the Match registry. Patients need you. For thousands with blood cancers like leukemia or other diseases like sickle cell anemia, a marrow transplant is their only hope for life. If you have diverse ancestry, patients especially need you because they are most likely to match someone who shares their heritage. Marrow Donor Registry Drive, ages 18 to 44, October 31st and November 1st, 2016, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Lakeland Community College, Building A, Atrium. Contact information: Tanya Davis at 216-406-6236 or Kaylin Hill 440-867-5818.
Welcome back, guys, to the Boss Hour again, live from Lake Effect Radio in Kirtland, Ohio. So yesterday, a lot going on, and actually in the past couple of days, the Tribe looking good in Game 1. They're winning that game, but in Game 2 was a completely different story. We saw the great pitching of the great Jake Arrieta last night. Arrieta just was lights out. I mean, it was really no contest in the entire game. 5 runs for the Chicago Cubs, 1 run for the Cleveland Indians, and the Cubs tie the series at 1-1. So what does this mean moving forward in this series? So the team split games 1 and 2, and the next 3 are going to be in Chicago. So if Chicago wants to wrap it up, they can, which is a scary thought, something that the Tribe wanted to, they wanted to avoid. The whole issue that I see with this Indians team in this series are the pitching matchups. The entire Chicago Cubs pitching rotation, any one of those guys pretty much could win a Cy Young. Any one of them. And the Indians have one guy who can win a Cy Young, and the rest of them are bullpen pitchers at best. I mean, the ones that aren't injured. You've got Carlos Carrasco, he's injured. Danny Salazar, he's injured. But when Salazar's at his best, he's mediocre. When Bauer's at his best, we saw that in the first half of the season. And now, what you're looking at is 2 teams going for the ultimate prize, right? You've got the Cubs, who are trying to break a curse that hasn't been broken in 100 years, or over 100 years. The Indians are trying to win the World Series, and they haven't done it in 67 years. Now, we learned this year that curses are meant to be broken. The Cleveland curse was broken with the Cavaliers, and the Indians are looking to continue the momentum of the city. But I think the one thing, as a fan, and this is something that I would ask you to think about. Because if you look... If you look at... And I am now joined by Tom Butler. What's going on, Tom?
Hello.
You're not on, now you are.
Hello, everybody.
See, here's the thing that I want...
I thought you were going to be here at 1, so I was like down in the gym.
Yeah, I
kind of
ruined that. I rushed out of my house to get here. The thing that people don't understand is Cleveland is a city that, other than these past 6 months, we were the mistake on the lake.
Yeah.
And Tom, something that I'm trying to tell our audience is don't get used to winning.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because we can see that with the Browns. They don't have a win in the win column.
Right.
And we expected that.
Mhm.
Whether or not you expected a win here, maybe a win over there, it doesn't matter. They're not going to the playoffs. We knew that.
Yeah.
The Indians, we didn't expect anything to happen, and it did. And now we're at that point in the season where we can't look back. It's win or miss. It's win the World Series or we shouldn't have played at all. That's the mentality of most Indians fans.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is, because they have gotten this far with a team that's been basically on a crutch since the beginning of September.
Yeah, since Carrasco went down, Salazar went down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we don't have, Coco Crisp isn't going to play every game.
No.
The guys that have stepped up weren't a part of the league last year, pretty much. You've got Tyler Naquin, who came in a rookie this season, and he is playing fantastic.
Yes.
You've got Jose Ramirez. Nobody knew who he was last year. He comes in this year, and he could possibly be an all-star.
Yeah, he was utilized just as a utility player.
Right.
But now he's been blossoming into a full-fledged player.
Right.
Which is good to see.
And the thing that kills me is yesterday the Indians say, okay, we're going to put this guy out on the mound that cut himself on a drone a little over a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And when he tried to pitch last time, his finger broke open and it started to bleed everywhere. We took him out. We ran the bullpen.
And
we won the game.
Yeah, that was the amazing point, was that it was a full-fledged effort by everybody in that bullpen to make sure that Trevor Bauer, even though he only pitched for, it wasn't very long. It was 21 pitches.
Yeah, it was an inning.
So, but, the Indians, they set a record for having, they're the only team to have ever, I'm trying to remember the exact stat, that they're the only team to ever win a postseason game without a single one of their pitchers going more than five outs.
Yeah, and it just...
that's an amazing...
It's amazing,
stat.
but it's not something that's a World Series caliber
That's something you can't be doing, no.
You can't do it. And the Cubs, I'm not giving them the series already.
No.
But after what I watched last night, the Indians have a lot of veterans. This is something that I've been saying, and Tom, you know this, I've been saying this about the Cavs, I've been saying it about the Browns, and the Browns, oh my goodness, they actually took my advice. The Indians, the same thing. The Indians may have a nice little chemistry thing going, as did the Cavs last year with all their veterans. But there's a time when you say, okay, the veterans need to go, we need to build for the future, keep a few of the good ones, and then they can retire and the guy's next man up, as we saw a couple of years ago with the Cavs and Della Vedova, who's a young point guard. Young. That's the key to success, is youth. And the way you develop your youth behind guys like Napoli, behind guys like Chisenhall, behind guys like Coco Crisp, that's where you're going to get your champion, is if you can get the right mix of youth and the right mix of veteran players. Well, the Indians have it, but not where they need it. They have it in the hitting, they don't have it in the pitching.
Okay, yeah, that's unfortunate that it's true that the Indians don't necessarily have the most veteran of pitching staffs.
Yeah.
But like, also let's also take into mind that how many of our players had actually been to World Series? Like Napoli might have been the only
Napoli
person.
won twice. He won once with once with somebody else. He's been there with the Rangers and he won with the Red Sox.
Yeah. So we don't have a lot of people who have even been to a World Series,
Right.
let alone have pitchers on the pitching staff.
But
Who are is like, I feel there has to be a thing about the experience level, because John Lester, I mean, sure, he didn't pitch as well as he could have in the opening. In
the first game.
in that first game. But like Corey Kluber just went. He had a night,
Yeah, he did. He did.
and I'm not sure that'll ever be like having 8 strikeouts in
we
the
hope
first
it
3
will.
innings.
We hope it
We-
will, but
I
we don't
think
expect
that.
it.
Yeah, I would not expect that.
Yeah.
But there has to be a certain level of experience that, like, the Indians, while they don't have it, I feel that in the case of the Cubs, they have more players who have been there and can provide the experience needed for a World Series championship.
See, here's what I have, okay? Here's my deal. When you look at the roster, and we'll start with the pitching staff, okay? I like the fact that, and I didn't think this was going to happen. I'll give credit to Roberto Perez as a catcher.
Yes.
I thought he was not going to show up at any point this season because I was thinking, a guy that's hitting at one point .98, and he can't even get a hit. It took him, I don't know how many at-bats to get a hit. He didn't play that much in the beginning of the season, but he didn't have to because of Gomes and Jimenez. But, it seemed when he was called upon in the second half of the season, he was trying to feel out where he fit.
Mm-hmm.
And then the postseason comes around and he said, you know what, I am going to start to take control of what I'm good at, and that's hitting. And he did that.
No.
He did that.
He wasn't considered a great hitter.
No, but
that only showed up in the postseason. This is very fluky.
I agree with you that it's fluky, but
it's Roberto Perez is like, he had the worst, he was like the worst hitter on our team for the first half.
Yeah.
And like he was still he had to climb to just hit the Mendoza line of 200.
Well, you got to think, how many games did he play in the regular season? He didn't play that many until Yan Gomes got hurt. Yeah. And so
But the thing is, Roberto Perez, he is known as a defensive catcher.
And he is. He's a good one.
And he is he's known as a defensive catcher and a guy who can run your starting lineup.
Yeah. And he's good. He's good. And he didn't. That's where we had a little bit of the drop off right after the All-Star game and into August. We had a few weeks where it was kind of like, okay, are they for real? And you had to ask yourself that question because we went to Minnesota and dropped 2 of 3. They came here and beat us 3 of 4, and then we went out and we lost 2 of 3 to Oakland or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then and it looked like that entire week, it looked like we were watching a team that was normal, first half ready, first month ready, playing good, second place, and then dropped off after the All-Star break. We didn't see that this year.
Like we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing those types of Indian teams.
We're used to seeing that, and we saw that for the first week or two after the All-Star break, and then they realized, okay, we want to compete this year. And I think one thing that built the fire underneath Roberto Perez was the fact that the Indians went out to get Lucroy. And Lucroy basically told Cleveland, I hate you. I don't want to go there. And
he wants to go to a team that he figured would be able to win a championship, and he didn't see the Indians as being that team.
Right. And
Which, I mean, let's be honest. Let's be truthful here. The Indians hadn't won a World Series since '48, so they weren't championship team. Like, they're not a championship team.
They weren't expected to get here, and the Rangers at the time had the best record in the American League. So, was it a good decision for Lucroy? I don't know. That's probably not.
We're looking at right now. See how the Rangers do next year.
Yeah, I would say watch next year. We'll find out. But anyway, going back to this, start with the pitching staff. Just looking at it, Trevor Bauer, Clevenger, Manship, McAllister, Merritt, Otero, Salazar, Shaw, Tomlin. These are guys that, other than Cody Allen and Corey Kluber and Andrew Miller, I think that this team is...
The pitching staff doesn't necessarily sound
No.
appealing.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It really doesn't. And the thing is last night, as my ESPN Fantasy Football app goes off on my phone, as I can hear it, probably a trade from Tim, but I believe that McAllister, I had faith in him last night, and we lose 5-1. At this moment, I can't see the Indians winning this series if we're going to continuously throw out there guys like Tomlin and guys like Ryan Merritt. You know, we saw Merritt go up against the Blue Jays, but he only pitched 4 innings.
Yeah, 4 1/3.
And then we go back to this bullpen thing when you have Otero, who during the regular season wasn't, reliever of the year. He wasn't anything near that. He wasn't anything near that great.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody even thought Brian Shaw was a good player.
Yeah, Shaw isn't consistent at all.
No.
Manship isn't consistent. Clevenger's young. Bauer doesn't go in the bullpen, but he should.
I'll disagree with that.
I don't think he's a starting pitcher.
He has trained his entire life to be a starter. He is a starter.
He trained for it, but at the same time, he doesn't have what it takes to be a starting pitcher. I don't see the talent.
Okay, what do you think it takes to be a starting pitcher?
I think it takes the fact that you need to be able to throw the basic pitches at a really... Like Arrieta. Arrieta's not, you look at a guy like Jake Arrieta and you look at a guy like R.A. Dickey, okay? Bauer reminds me of Dickey. You know why? Because he has the ball he has the curveball, and he has somewhat like Dickey has the splitter or the knuckleball.
Yeah, he's a knuckleball.
Bauer has that with his curveball. But
a fastball with his curveball, you mean?
That's the thing.
Bauer does not throw a knuckleball.
Right, I know. Bauer doesn't throw 98 miles an hour like Aroldis Chapman. He doesn't have great location with his pitch. He either goes down or he goes high. And when his ball goes in the middle of the strike zone, as you saw last night, it was a base hit for the Chicago Cubs. So, if I'm going to put out Trevor Bauer as my starting pitcher against a guy that won the Cy Young last year, and I believe in my mind that I have a chance to win that game, I better have been drinking about 20 beers, because I don't think that Trevor Bauer has the talent to be a starting pitcher when he's healthy even. I don't think... I don't think so. I think when you saw him in Arizona, he was coming out of the bullpen, he was pitching out of the bullpen, and he was great in the bullpen.
Yeah.
But for the Tribe yesterday, as we saw, I don't care about the drone, I don't care about the stitches, I don't care about the bleeding. The problem with the entire thing was Bauer is not capable of winning a World Series game. Maybe against the Toronto Blue Jays, where their hitting has been in a slump for a long time.
Okay.
But against the Chicago Cubs, against a team that has Jake Arrieta, and then you go to the starting lineup and you have Chris Bryant, you have Kyle Schwarber, you have Anthony Rizzo, you've got Addison Russell, you've got home run caliber hitters.
Yeah, like the thing to look at.
I mean, the curveball's not going to work.
One of the more fun things I've talked about often is when you look at these two teams. The Indians are mainly a more small ball based National League style team.
Yeah,
and then I see the Cubs as being very American League Bash Brothers style.
Okay,
it's just a very weird dynamic.
See. How have teams beaten the Cubs in the past? They got lucky.
Bad luck, yeah.
I think the Cubs are that good of a team. Now, this year, the thing the Indians need to do is when they go out on the field for their next game, they got to bring a Billy Goat. Because that's the entire reason the Cubs haven't won a World Series in over 100 years.
No, just like we have to ship the Black Cat over to...
I mean, we really need to do something that just messes with the mentality of this team, or else we are, and these fans, maybe go hire Steve Bartman for $100K for a day or something. I don't know, because the next 3 games are in Chicago.
Just like play psychological games.
Yeah, just play psychological games. Have Terry Francona dress up like the GOAT. I don't know what you want, but like, it just doesn't seem like. I'm a Cleveland fan. I love the Tribe. I like Trevor Bauer. He's a great kid. He's a good pitcher, but at the same time, know your role, dude. You are a bullpen pitcher at best. And I know, Tom, you don't agree with me, but at the same time, it's unreal yesterday what we saw in that game against the Cubs. First of all, Terry Francona kind of went against his plan because he said in his press conference prior to the game, if he starts giving up hits, I don't care how many it is, we're taking him out. He lasted, 3 1/3?
Something like that.
2 innings. That's it. That's my thing. 3 innings, and I'm bringing in a guy like McAllister. I'm bringing in Otero. I'm bringing in Manship. Immediately, 3rd, 4th inning, they're in. And Bauer lasted longer than that. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the positive thing in Cleveland. Your Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll be right back on the Boss Hour, Lake Effect Radio.
I thought we were doing Beyond Question, but still.
Textbooks on reserve at Lakeland Library. Select textbooks are not available for students to check out and use in the library. Donations of current textbooks to the Textbook on Reserve. Programs are encouraged from instructors and students. If your textbook is not currently available in the library, please contact your instructor to provide a copy of their textbook for the Textbook on Reserve program. For more information on the library-initiated Textbook on Reserve program, please call 440-525-7424.
Walk-in rain center help in the library 3rd floor C building in C35-1. Free and no appointment needed. Need assistance in guiding and enhancing your rain skills, reading, and revision skills? The Rain Center Tutor is available to help you. They are available Mondays 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Tuesdays 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Wednesday 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Thursdays 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. For more information, please call 440-525-7425 for more information.
And welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody. So now let's get on to the positives. We had a pretty crazy day on Tuesday night. The Cavaliers raised their championship banner as the Cavaliers also played the New York Knicks, and they destroyed the Knicks 117-88. It was just a great game to watch, even if you probably didn't watch it because World Series Game 1 was on. Yeah. But honestly, they've got got a smaller. I just saw this on ESPN by Dave McMenamin.
Okay.
McMenamin. The new addition to the Cavs practice facility. They have the Eastern Conference Championship banner for 2014-2015 on the left. On the right, they have the one from last year, and then the championship banner in the middle. It's like a smaller version of the one they have in the queue. So, I really, personally, I think that winning this championship, I hate to be devil's advocate, okay? And I know it's kind of hard to be that way when talking about this, but I expected when the Cavaliers were to win a championship in Cleveland, I expected to have this certain feeling of, like, I just won the lottery. I mean, I expected that feeling of something I had never felt before, almost like I was in love, almost like I had graduated from college and got that job offer. That kind of like, that feeling of just...
It's like, this is the best moment of my life.
Yes. And I felt half of that, and the other half I felt cheated. And you want to know why?
Okay.
Because I may be the only one left in Cleveland that still remembers 2010 offseason.
Oh yeah,
And, you know, I am, as people will know, when I was down in Florida at the Word of Life School and here, most people know me as one of the biggest LeBron James fans out there. I am. But I remember the past, and I hold grudges when it comes to sports. And, you know, you fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me 3 times.
Shame on your entire family.
Yes.
Something like that.
So, he didn't do it twice, but LeBron became something of a basketball god. And when you tell someone who believes they're that to... I'm trying to explain it, but it's like, it's so hard because... Hold on one second.
Yeah, we're getting knocks on the door.
Scratch that. We'll talk about that on my next show. This is the Boss Hour, Lake Effect Radio. Thank you guys for listening today. Go Tribe and go Cavs. LeBron, I do actually love you. You're amazing. Bye-bye, guys. I'll say bye, Tom.
Bye.